Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at Simply Safe Dividends. This is a really neat platform for dividend investors. It works great whether you're an income investor, a retiree looking to generate income from your portfolio, or you just have a lot of dividend stocks and want to make sure that those are going to keep generating returns for you. So what I like about this platform is that it includes a lot of dividend specific tools that you won't find in most portfolio management tools. That said, it is very focused on dividend investing. This is not an all-in-one portfolio management tool. So if you're looking for growth stocks or momentum stocks alongside dividend stocks, know that you're going to be using Simply Safe Dividends only to analyze income generating stocks. Let's take a look at everything Simply Safe Dividends has to offer and help you decide if this platform is right for you. So I want to start by showing you the portfolio view within Simply Safe Dividends. Here you can link all of your brokerage accounts to import your portfolios. You can also add stocks manually or create play portfolios that kind of serve as watch lists if you're thinking about creating a dividend portfolio but don't currently have one. So you can see some basic information about your portfolio, including your total value of your assets, the annual income you can expect from dividends, and your yield across all of your holdings. It also shows you your beta, so some really nice information about volatility within your portfolio. So one of the key things you'll see here is this dividend safety pie chart. Simply Safe Dividends rates all of the stocks that it covers on a scale from 0 to 100 to rank how safe the dividend is. So a borderline score means that there's a moderate chance of the dividend being cut in the next 6 months. Anything above that is likely safe or considered very safe. So that indicates that you don't have to worry about the dividend being cut in the near future. And they do publish information about how they come up with these dividend safety scores. According to the platform, they have a 97% accuracy rating. So really quite good over a span of many years. So you can see in my pie chart, I have about 40% of my stocks are likely safe in terms of dividend, about 40% are borderline, and another 20% are unrated. So you can also see dividend growth over the last 5 years. And if you click on this, you can dig into it to get different time frames. You can see that the dividend growth for the stocks in my portfolio are not actually very good. You can also look at diversification across different sectors. And one thing I like, particularly for retirees that are relying on their income, is this dividend income calendar. You can actually see how much money you can expect on any given day, as well as over months in the year ahead. That can be really helpful if you're planning on this money making it into your account on certain days. And then another thing that's really great about Simply Safe Dividends is that it does give you fair value estimates for all of the stocks that it tracks. So this can be helpful because obviously dividend growth is great, but not if it comes at the expense of share price because perhaps a company is overpaying their dividend and can't keep their financial health up. This is really helpful for finding stocks that are at least around their expected fair value as opposed to overvalued, and they could end up losing you money even if they're producing a dividend. So if we come down here, we can see a table showing all of my holdings. You can see their current price, the cost I paid, as well as again, dividend yield, dividend safety score, and the anticipated dividend growth. Obviously, you can sort this table by dividend safety. It makes it really easy to find your borderline and unsafe dividend stocks and possibly cut those from your portfolio if that makes sense for you. So you can also dive into individual stocks within Simply Safe Dividends to get more information. So for example, here again, we can see dividend safety score, dividend yield, and the valuation. We can also see dividend growth over the past year. And information like credit rating and the volatility in the stock. If you scroll down, you actually get quite a bit of information here, including notes about the dividend safety score. So when it was either upgraded, downgraded, or reaffirmed. Another thing you get is these key metrics that cover aspects of a company's financials that you don't actually see in most fundamental analysis software. So for example, here for Starbucks, we can see payout ratio and how that compares to other companies in the restaurant industry. We can also see companies' dividend streak, so how many years they've gone without a reduction, as well as how they performed during the last recession. This can be really interesting to evaluate whether a company may be able to maintain its dividend even during one of the worst financial events that we can have. Of course, all of this data is available in more detail, including charts and graphs. So really useful for investors who want to dig into this data and find out if a stock makes sense for their portfolio. So Simply Safe Dividends covers thousands of stocks, so it's really useful for finding stocks to invest in, as well as monitoring all the dividend stocks in your portfolio. If you want to come up with ideas, Simply Safe Dividends is really great for that as well. They give you First, a stock screener that also works well for closed-end funds. There are a fair number of very dividend-focused filters for this. So you can look at dividend safety score, yield, sector, when a company last raises dividend, how long they've held a dividend growth streak for, how their current price relates to that fair value estimate. And then you can also look at things like ex-dividend days if you're trying to spread your income out over all the different months of the year. You can look at yield relative to history, and things like payout ratio and PE relative to history. So all sorts of filters to give you an idea of how safe a stock is and how safe its dividend is. All of the filters are very simple as well, which I really like. You don't have to figure out, valuation within 10% of that fair value estimate. You just go with reasonably valued or slightly undervalued. Great. Very easy to find stocks that kind of match what's important to you, rather than giving you too many filters like a lot of platforms do, to where you spend days creating really custom stock screens that are so narrow you end up missing the forest for the trees. And of course, we can take this results table and sort it by what's important to us. So for example, dividend yield or dividend safety scores makes it really easy to find stocks to then click on and dive into more detail about them. Another way that Simply Safe Dividends gives you to find ideas for income investments is this ideas list. So there's a few different lists here, and they're all really helpful. First, we have high yield stocks. So this is a handpicked list of stocks that have dividend yields typically over 4%. There's also growth stocks this is a dividend-focused growth stock list. Dividend Aristocrats and Dividend Kings, both companies that have paid out dividends over many years in a row and actually grown their dividends over all those years. And then you can also look at dividend stocks from Warren Buffett's portfolio and Bill Gates' portfolio. And one thing I really like is this monthly payers list. So again, for retirement investors, this can be really useful to make sure that you're getting income from your portfolio every month. And if we click on one of these lists, it looks just like the portfolio view. Really easy to sort these tables according to what's important to you, as well as add more columns from all of the metrics that Simply Safe Dividends tracks. And then the last way that Simply Safe Dividends gives you to find ideas to invest in is this Intelligent Income newsletter. This is published quarterly. And what I like about this is it includes 3 model portfolios. So one for conservative retirees, another that blends income and growth stocks, and then one that's relatively low yield, higher growth stock focused. So you can look at any of these portfolios, get commentary about how they're performing every quarter. So it's really nice that Simply Safe Dividends keeps you up to date on these. And then you can actually look at performance over time and dive into all of the holdings in that portfolio. They also make it really easy to copy this as a play portfolio. So you can essentially use it as a watch list to build on it, customize it, and then eventually turn it into a real portfolio if that makes sense for you. So how much does Simply Safe Dividend cost? The service has 2 plans, Lite and Full Access. Lite costs $15 per month or billed annually for $180. Full Access costs $39 per month or it's billed annually for $468. There's a 14-day free trial of the Full Access plan. I haven't done Simply Safe Dividends to offer any coupons or discounts, but if we do get any of that from the company, we'll be sure to include that with the video. So for most investors, I would recommend the Full Access plan. This is giving you those dividend safety scores, really the key value proposition behind Simply Safe Dividends, as well as access to all of the platform's research, the newsletter with model portfolios, as well as those fair value estimates to help you avoid overpaying for stocks. The Lite platform can be good if you just want basic portfolio tracking features like the income calendar, but for most investors, I think the Full Access plan is really worth the extra cost. So now at $468 per month, it's worth thinking about what size portfolio you need to make this worth it. I would typically recommend having an income portfolio at least $10,000 or even $20,000. That equates to about a 2.5% to 5% gain that you would get compared to not having Simply Safe Dividends. It's also important to remember that you are getting some tools that can be really useful, even if your portfolio is a little bit on the smaller side. So for example, that income calendar can be really useful for retirees who want to make sure that they know when their income is coming and can plan on it. The service can also be really valuable for retirees by helping you manage your income from your portfolio and helping you avoid dividend cuts that could actually impact your ability to get the income you need to pay bills. So I think that full access plan is really worthwhile for a wide range of dividend investors, even if your portfolio is a little bit on the smaller side. And overall, I think Simply Safe Dividends is a great service for income investors, particularly for retirees who need to protect their income from their portfolio.